Yo, what up, what up, what up? John Sanders in the house. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're here during our off week. Just going to give you guys this stuff just because it's what I do, okay? I'm going to keep going whether you guys do or not. All right, so if you're watching the show, thank you for watching the show. If you're doing the homework, thank you even more for that because we are headed towards somewhere, and hopefully you guys want to get there too. All right, first things first, let's start with the quote of the day. Quote of the day is, if you can't run, crawl. All right, no matter what you can do, all right, you can always do something. All right, move towards something. I was just telling someone the other day, I was like, you don't give a desperate effort. And they were like, but I was really tired. And I'm like, no, but you stopped. You stopped moving. There is no stoppage if you really, really want it. You just keep going forward, even if that sprint is just a jog, even if that jog becomes a walk, even if that walk becomes a crawl. You keep going forward because that's more than so many other people are willing to do. And I would actually look at you if I was a college coach. I would actually want to see what happens when you're at your worst. How do you react to things when you're at your worst? I don't care when you're at your best. When you're on fire, okay, I guess I kind of care. Like, what's the best this kid could do? Everyone says, like, you know, oh, if I had just one great game and then the scout saw me on that great game, I guess that could be something. But I would like to also see when you're having a bad game, because some people, when they have a bad game, like Steph Curry or someone like that, they can still impact the game. Jokic doesn't have to score more than 10 points to really, really impact a game. And to be that kind of player, it's like, ooh, that's a special player. He doesn't need to be on fire to impact a game. So I would like to see how you acted in that regard while you're having a bad shooting game, when you get scored on 5 straight times, when the referee calls inaccurate calls on you, when the coach treats you badly and doesn't like play you or whatever it may be. I want to see how you react under those circumstances. Yes, the best of you is going to get the scholarship, but it's the worst of you that will get the scholarship over this other deserving player. All right, everyone can find a player that can hit down, that can knock down like 10 straight threes or something like that. Everyone can find a player who can dribble. Everyone can find a player who's tall. All right, so it's a tie. What's the tiebreaker? How do you behave when you're at your worst? And if you're at your worst and you still have your head up and you're still smiling and clapping and still cheering for your teammates, then you're a special, special, special person. All right? And if you can't run and you're still jogging, and you can't jog and you're still walking, like you look like you want to vomit, and then you can't walk anymore and you start crawling. Yeah, that's a basketball player. That's the guy that we need. I mean, we can get his conditioning up a little bit, but geez, this guy really, really wants it, because if you can crawl like that, and you can walk like that, and you can jog like that, and you can sprint like that, you can probably fly. I mean, I wouldn't put it past you. If you always were able to give your all, no matter what you had, I would put my faith in you. So that's the quote of the day from Martin Luther King Jr. If you can't run, crawl. All right, let's go to the story of the day. Let's watch that and see what that's like. In school, both test prep and learning the actual material are needed to succeed. In basketball, team practice and developing skill are the same. Both are needed, but the collection of knowledge and skill must precede their application. So don't spend all your time learning plays as a young player that has yet to reach their peak skill-wise. That's like the impetus for our program right there. It's crazy how much that applies and how often we talk about that. All right, there's test prep, and then there's taking the test, and then there's learning knowledge, and then there's applying the knowledge. And I just thought of a new one. All right, imagine if you were an actor, okay, and you were a good actor, maybe an average actor, maybe a great actor. There's a whole bunch of different kinds, right? And there was a play that you wanted to be in, or even like a movie that you wanted to be in. And there was a talent scout out there looking for the most talented people as they were collecting actors to be in their movie. And the lead role was already going to go to this other guy. And the fifth best role that made only, $500,000 was going to go to you. While that's a very good role, there's two different ways to approach this thing. You can say, all right, the movie starts in a year. Let me prepare for this fifth role. And I'm going to memorize every single line so I can play that part so well. They're going to know that I'm not the greatest actor. That's why I'm not in the lead role, of course. But I'm going to be the best fifth role player that I can be, or best fifth role actor that I can be. But then there's another thought. There's another chance that you have, and it's to perfect your craft and to go out there and actually learn some new acting skill and to become good enough of an actor that they offer you the lead role. Which one do you want more? Well, I'll tell you right now, there's pros and cons in both. If you want to become a better actor, of course, that's going to get you the $10 million role in the future. Maybe. But you might have to pass up this current movie while you're getting better. All right? So you're basically turning down a role for a chance to get the $10 million role in the future. But the con is you may not ever get a chance at that role again. Who knows? Maybe all your efforts are in vain. Maybe you can't become a better actor. So what I say to that is basketball-wise, should you start learning plays and learning like where to stand right now? Only if you think that this is the best that you can ever become. And if you're like, well, can't I do both? That's what everyone says. Can't I get better as a player and get better as a team together? Well, think about this. Do you have 3 hours a day to get better as an individual? Because that's the maximum stuff right there. After that, you're probably doing too much. And the chances are you don't have that kind of time. During the summer, maybe, but not during the year. So you have a choice to where to put your hours because you don't have an infinite amount of time. All right. Now, chances are as well, you're not very good at the team stuff because your mind is a fourth grader. Even some of you seventh graders, like fourth graders, you don't learn the stuff that fast. So you need to spend more time on the team stuff, which is less time on the individual stuff. If you can learn the team stuff in like 5 seconds piece, oh sure, yeah, learn it all. Who cares? Because you're getting your 3 hours in basketball-wise. Cool. But chances are it will take you 2 hours to learn the team stuff a day for like a whole 2 years. But when you get older, that stuff will be easier to learn. And that's the trick, is that right now in that regard, it doesn't matter. But the skill stuff, you can't learn to shoot faster than you could when you're like in 5th grade. When you're the 9th grade version of yourself can actually try to learn how to shoot, it will actually take you more time because of your muscle memory. So since learning how to shoot, dribble, and all that other kind of stuff is harder when you're older, and learning all the team stuff is easier when you're older, that's the answer right there. So when it comes down to test prep or the game prep for the weekend, stop it. Stop it, you young teams. Not until you're fully developed should you even worry about that. All right? It takes any decent player like 4 weeks to maybe 2 months to learn everything there is to know about team basketball. And you can do that when you're in high school or even like late high school, and you're good to go. But it takes anyone on earth more than 4 years to become good at the skill stuff. So learn that stuff, maximize that as much as you can early, even if it's to the detriment of your team. It might be what I believe. Other people are like, but they need some confidence. They need them trophies. No, you need money, coach. Shut up. You're a liar. A liar! All right, moving on. All right, did you know that this is not a foul?
Oh, no, he just tripped. That's the right call. They're reviewing that one. They're going to challenge it.
All right. So not only is that not a foul, did you know is that's SGA's, is it his cousin? I mean, he threw him off, if anything. And how's that ref even seeing that? Would you hate your cousin if they played like this? I mean, I'm sure he's proud of him still, but like, that's crazy. That's some. Wait, are they brothers? Are they cousins? They're brothers? Yeah, that's brother on brother crime right there, man. But I would pick on my brother like that, especially if I had the whistle. Look at that. He pushed off on him. He's like, let me move. He kind of put his hand in for a second. I maybe see what the ref was thinking, I suppose. But how ballsy is it to just throw yourself down to the ground like that? I think SGA has weak legs or something, because there's no way he's taking that big of a chance every single time. What if they just start calling travels on him? Because he doesn't touch anything. He just falls to the ground. I don't think an NBA superstar has ever tried that. Let me just throw myself to the ground. I mean, they have occasionally, but not all the time like SGA does. It is random. But the did you know that was his brother, but now you do. Okay. Let's go with the highlights of the week. Now, this guy. All right. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. That's from a movie called The Fugitive. But, yes, this is Hansel. And Hansel has one arm. It looks to me like when he's playing out here, it looks to me like this is a setup. Like, seriously. Like, these guys are running by him like they're like the Washington Generals and he's the Harlem Globetrotters. It's like, no way two people are reaching in on this. Is this like a drill that they're doing? It seems so odd, but I think at the same time, I think he's just... I know he's missing an arm, this guy, but I think he is really fast. Really fast. And he's worked really hard to get like this good at ball handling, but I think he's really fast. So you need to be some kind of superhuman person to make the NBA. This guy might make it. Watch this crap. Now they are moving out of his way. They're all wearing white. He's wearing black. I don't know. No one's really contesting these shots. But I've seen some open gyms like that. He's not passing the ball too much. I mean, looks like a little bit of a lazy open gym, but they're definitely playing. There's a crowd there. No crowd is going to sit there and just watch you do stupid stuff. So, yeah, I think he's just very good. That guy was rebounding right there. So, yeah, I do believe it's real. All right, and he must have pretty big hand. All right, but yeah, man, they could put a body on him or something, right? But I think he's just extraordinarily fast too. There goes a block right there, some defense. Now he did make college basketball. I don't know if he can make the NBA, but it'd be a heck of a story. I mean, it'd be crazy if he made like the D League or something too. Jeez. The one-arm bandit, man. And I say all this stuff because I know he's heard it already. He must be pretty good with it. I'm not worried about his confidence, but yeah, no, this guy's amazing. All right, where do you guys think he'll end up? I mean, he's very athletic. I would just love to see him in the NBA somehow. I don't think it can happen. I don't think it's possible. But I wouldn't have thought that this was possible. If you told me he's going to make D1, I would have been like, maybe barely. No, he's playing in D1. I mean, I really don't know. Let's go with the trivia question today. Trivia question today. No one answered it last time. I'm going to save these for next week. But what prevented Anthony Edwards from doing bid shots when he was growing up is the trivia question today. Good luck in answering that trivia question. We are going to commercial break.
Water break!
Why don't they know about Mendoza sewer and water? There, that's better.
All right, moving on to some conspiracy theory stuff. All right, this was from Shaquille O'Neal just the other day, and he said that when David Stern asked him about the draft, he said, "Where do you want to go, big fella? You want to go where it's hot or where it's cold?" Maybe he was joking. But this is Shaquille O'Neal on whether the NBA draft is rigged or not.
I don't know if you heard this story, but in 1992, I think the draft was in June or something, I meet Mr. Stern in March. And he says to me, hey, no, you are. Can't wait for you to come to the NBA. Then he pulls me to his side. You want to play where it's cold or where it's hot? He asked me that. Yeah, he did. He asked me that, and I was like, hot. And he smiled, and I smiled. And then a couple of days later, they had the draft thing, and the top 3 things. And then Minnesota was number 3. I was like, and then Charlotte was number 2, and then Orlando, Florida was number 1. I was like, I didn't think anything about it, but you hear a lot of these conspiracy theories, and there's a lot of situations that could make these things sound good and sound true. Like, okay, Dallas gets rid of one of the best players, but we're getting a new one. Ding, 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 ding. So I don't want to use the word conspiracy theory, but it's very interesting.
With that.
I mean, look, I honestly wouldn't put it past the NBA, and personally, I wouldn't blame the NBA. All right, because they have so many millions and billions of dollars on the line. What's the price of integrity? I mean, like, the fans don't care. The fans act like they care. But let's say that all the best players went to, like, I don't know, the Utah Jazz. And Utah won 12 straight ping pong ball lottery picks. People would stop watching the NBA. Period. They would be like, wait. Utah's won 12 straight years. Wait, this is rigged. That's what they would say. And the NBA would say, no. We showed you the balls, and we had a little kid pick the ball number out, and it's just the most happenstantial thing in the world, and the balls didn't bounce in our favor. And they're like, well, we're still not watching because the Utah Jazz win every year. Then what could they do? Just be like, oh, well, we'll just take some players from that team? No, they would be screwed. So since the fans don't care, the fans are going to watch if they have a good product on the court or not. I think the NBA has to be like, shut up, fans. You don't want honesty. You want the best players on the biggest markets because there's more of you guys there, and we need the money to pay them more money. And if we don't, we won't have the money, and they're going to go to other leagues in other parts of the world. Then you're not watching us at all. So if they had full integrity, no one would watch. Possibly. It's a chance. So why would the NBA even take that chance? Yes, I believe that the NBA drafts are a little rigged when they have to be. Absolutely. All right? They don't want the teams, cooking up, ways to, cheat the system and things like that. But I think at the end of the day, they're like, yeah, we're not showing you these balls bouncing because they don't do it live anymore. That just tells you right there. But do we want them to? No, because the balls may bounce in the favor of the wrong people. And in the end, you don't want that. I don't want that. They don't want that. So as long as it's semi-fair and enough teams have it and the gameplay is fair, I think that's good enough. I think that they should just be like, we're going to put this guy on this team because we think that it's fair. We're going to put this guy on this team because, they're a big market team. Just say it flat out. But then people wouldn't watch there and there. So I think that the only way to do it is to lie. Oh, it's strange. Let's see what the kind of homework we got. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. All right, we got Lincoln finishing drills, fake behind the back, all the Wednesday. It's insane how often Wes misspells Wednesday. It's not W-H-E-N for when it's that. It's not even W-I-N, which would be even better because that would be like winning a game. It's, you know what? It's actually kind of hard because it's actually W-E-D. And the N-E-S. So yeah, Wednesday's a tough word to spell. But that ain't it. That ain't it, boss. Alright, anyways, sorry about that. Back on schedule. Rafael Mendoza with the post progression. Nice job. We got Adrian posted some homework. I see it, Adrian. There you go. Stepping in the right direction. Finally, let's go, baby. It's summertime. Alright, what else we got here? Alright. This is Brunson play. Let's see what that's like. All right, nice pass. Oh, he tried to flop. well, is this a commendable flop or not? And does it just become a flop contest at some point in time? Who can flop the best? So, should he get fined for that? Did he foul him at all? Not really, nah. But he was going for it. He's probably thinking, people flop on me sometimes. Sometimes the refs fall for it. Sometimes they don't. It's a tough one. Like he got hit harder than SGA got hit in that last play that we watched. What's protocol for this? I say if the person is out of position, then maybe you can flop to show the ref. But yeah, it does get rather silly if you're just flailing on the ground. I think it's up to the refs to notice that. Even if they notice it afterwards, I think that would be great. Call it like how you have to call it during the game, but afterwards, fine them. If you have like video evidence like this, fine them for the flop. Just because I don't believe that this should be in the game. Because as a defender, man, defense is hard enough. The defense is already on like the back burner. So like, since it's so hard to play defense, why not just like help the offense out? Why keep helping the offense out by letting them fall down? So I believe defensively, you would be able to actually stand a chance. Now, do people care about defense? I just think that it makes the game better. So when you do have to knuckle down and you have to play defense, that it's possible at some point in time. So yeah. In that regard, I definitely believe it. All right, I gotta move on to a few things that I was gonna talk about. All right, so we got a couple of things. All right, first things first. Let's see what is it? All right, so it's the trajectory thing, okay? All right, so on our trajectory page, we have a list of things that you can plug in. All right, you can say how tall you are, how tall your parents are. You can say how good you are. You can say what you're willing to do each week. And we tell you based off of that information, at that starting point, where you might end up in the future. So after you plug in all the little data, it'll tell you, boom, you're going to be a high school starter. Boom, you're going to be an NBA player. You're going to be a Hall of Fame player possibly, right? And that stuff is true. To the best of my knowledge, that stuff is true. I've looked at every single combination. I've been coaching for 15 years. This is as much as I believe for things to be true, this is true. So plug it in and say how much that you're willing to do, and then adjust it if the results don't meet your actual wants. All right? Don't lie to yourself and say, no, I'm going to make it by doing less stuff and I'm going to make it higher than he ever swore I could. No, that's a weird thing to do. It's to be like, let me see how far I can get with as little work as possible. So the trajectory thing is there. If you go below the trajectory thing, it'll give you an effort rating. Okay, now this effort rating is whatever you want to do and whatever grade that you want to get. This is based off of an extremely high level of youth basketball player right here. Now, if you select them all, it's 120%. So don't do that. That's just silly. That's way too much time. I'm not expecting you to become Larry Bird or Steph Curry or Michael Jordan, okay? But you can lower it until it gets to 100% and see if you can do that. But if that's too much work, lower it some more. Or just select what you're willing to do each day, because these are all the things that are possible within our program, and you get to select each of those things. And if the effort level is only a C-, so be it. C- is actually pretty good among Colorado basketball players. Yeah, they're not doing a C- effort, the average player. So you do whatever you're going to do, and then let me know your score. But the question is this. What if the trajectory score was guaranteed? What would you do? Because that's the real reason that you don't want to do it. Because it's not guaranteed. You don't trust me. And even I must say, maybe I'm wrong. But it's what I've seen. All right? And so if it were guaranteed, would you do it? Or what if it was very heavily enforced? Would you do it then? If we had cameras on you, or like maybe you had to post it, and if you didn't post it, you would get in trouble at practice. Or maybe we had 99% of our program doing it, and you were the only one not doing it. You would feel socially forced, right? Would you like that? Well, I would say this. You got to take a chance sometimes. Now, you can either take a chance on doing less work, doing the amount of work that the trajectory page says that you should, or by doing more work. All right? And if you do less work, you're basically saying that you don't trust me. And if you do less work, you're basically saying that you know more than I do. If you do less work, you're probably giving yourself less of a chance because that's how work equals out to. All right? You're probably giving yourself less of a chance because that's how work is. Now, if you do the same amount of work, you're putting your faith in me, and I appreciate that. And I say, let's go for it. And I'll help you every single step of the way because if you believe in me, I believe in you. All right? Now, if you put in more work, well, then just go ahead and up the trajectory. I assure you, there is not a person alive your age who can do all that work. Maybe a couple people in the world. Okay. So are you willing to do that work on the trajectory page? All right. And if you're willing to do it, go ahead and do it. All right. And let me walk through it with you real quick. No, I'm not going to. You guys can check out the trajectory page on our website by clicking on homework. And by clicking on the link trajectory and just seeing what there is able to do, and watching this show is one of those things. So if you're watching the show, great job. What's up, Jacob? I see you, man. And then the other thing I was going to talk about is this right here. All right, so, all right. When do you want to be great? All right, when are we supposed to get better at the stuff that we're supposed to get better at? You can back off of people who are shooting when they're in fourth grade because they can't make three-pointers. But at some point in time, you're going to have to guard Steph Curry. And at that point in time, do you think that you can step up and guard Steph Curry just like that? No, it's going to be way hard, right? So while you're not good and while they're not good, why not guard that fourth grade player so you can get better? You can't just magically become a good defender. So there's all these people out here who are just waiting and waiting and waiting to, let's say, shoot the proper layup. The proper layup is having your hand underneath the ball and the ball above your eyesight. That's a proper layup. But they want to shoot it like this. Well, when you shoot it like that, you're not slowing down. When you shoot it like this, you're slowing down too much. So you allow people behind you to block your shot. And at some point in time, probably 7th or 8th grade, maybe 9th, people will catch you and block that shot, and then you're going to have to change it. And all of a sudden change it, and you're not going to be able to. You had a chance to get better in 3rd grade, but you chose not to because you wanted to make the shots. All right? So same with your shot mechanics. When are you going to shoot the shot properly rather than just try to just make it with 2 hands? All right? There's all these things. How about bigs playing as guards? Your dad's only 5'10", but you grew a little bit early and they want to play you at the big man. And you're like, well, when I get older, I'll learn some guard skills. It's like, no, learn those now. But you're like, but it's so hard because I'm tall. Guys, look ahead. Think ahead. There are so many things that you should be doing right now, but that you're not doing just simply because you're afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of failure, okay? And same thing with coaches playing zone during games, all right? Same thing when we're shooting, or when players want to scrimmage, or they'll quit the whole program because players just want to scrimmage the entire practice. And it's like, no, we're trying to get better right now. But they're like, I just want to have some fun. You're not thinking ahead. So I need you guys to start thinking ahead during open gym. How about during open gym? Is that the time to get better? No. All you want to do is jack up shots and just walk back on defense. You don't want to get better during practice. You don't want to get better during games. You don't want to get better during open gym. You don't want to get better during shooting practice. When do you want to get better? You always want to put it off until later. Soon, later becomes never. All right? Do you want to get better at home possibly? No, because you don't want to do the homework. All right? How about right before high school tryouts, like 2 months before? Oh, maybe, but then it's too late. You can't just get better during the 2 months before high school practice or during 2 months before high school tryouts and hope that will do anything. So the main question is, do you want to win now or win later? And far too often are people saying, I want to win later. Far too often are people saying, I want to win now. And when all you want to do is try to win now, you end up losing later. you have a choice to make. So make sure you guys make the right choice. All right. Ant didn't have a bed is the answer. Good job, Jacob. Ant didn't have a bed. That is the answer. You win today's trivia question, and now you are 1 point behind Jace with 1 day tomorrow. Only 1 day to go tomorrow, and it's 8-7. 8-7. Jacob. No, that makes you the winner. I'm sorry. You have 9 points. Jace has 6. That makes you the winner for the month. Whether you answer tomorrow or not, you won for the month. Congratulations to Jacob. Yes, Ant didn't have a bed. So when we get to that trivia question, what prevented Anthony Edwards from doing bed shots when he was growing up? He didn't have a bed because his dad wasn't in his life. His mom and his grandma died within 7 months of each other. His cousins raised him and taught him basketball. It's a crazy story. But the coach told him, hey, shoot some bed shots. And he goes, Coach, I don't have a bed. So whatever you think that your life is, some people's lives are worse. So that's what I take from that. And I'll see you guys soon. Don't forget the quote of the day. Next week is when we start our clinic stuff, guys. If you can't run, crawl. Make sure that you look at all the clinic stuff on our website. All right. I haven't gone over it today, but you guys can go over it yourselves. All right. Just take a look at all that stuff. I'll talk to y'all soon, man. That's my time. Reese's Pieces, everybody.